What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Guys, markets are opening up tomorrow, so that means I've got another good video for you guys today, which as always will give you guys that information that will equip you to succeed in the markets tomorrow. But before I do, guys, drop me down your comments below. I want to know who is in the building with me today, right? So definitely drop me down your comments below. You guys know I like interacting with you down in the comment section. A lot of you guys have a lot of questions for me. A lot of you guys just have a lot of appreciation for the videos. So definitely drop them down below, okay? So guys, we're looking to have a very big week this coming week. But speaking of big weeks, this week just gone was an enormous week, guys. I literally can't put it into words how huge this week was, right? For myself and those over at the Patreon. I've got a couple of numbers up on screen for you guys from one of my positions from this week. Yes, that was only one of my positions from this week. But as a matter of fact, if you check out the last video, I did a full breakdown of the week, the 3 trades that we took. And what that does is it gives you an insight into what someone who has 10 years worth of experience in this game does, what they did, in terms of things like what instruments were selected, how long we're in the trade, contract selection, stop losses, and all that kind of stuff, right, guys? How to manage the whole trade, the whole 360. So if you haven't already seen that, definitely check out the video I did before this one, right? That'll give you a good insight into what happened last week. But once you've done that, definitely come back and check out this video, all right? So last week was a huge week, and essentially what you want to know is, given that we had a rise in prices in quite a few different names out there in the market last week, this week, what I'm looking to do, and this may take place the week after this one as well, depending on how markets move, is looking to take advantage of what we call pullbacks or retracements, okay? So for those of you guys that don't know or might not be so experienced in terms of terminology and all this, a pullback is simply, okay, price has gone from point A to point B. Once it retraces back to point A, all right, which could be a zone, a support level, that could be an interesting place to get in and execute another trade. Now, speaking of executing trades, guys, the way you go ahead and make the types of returns that you're seeing on the screen here and types of returns that my members over the Patreon have been making this week, we're talking 100%, 150%. You're going to need to use the options market, all right? The options market is going to give you that level of return, that 100%, that 200%. You're not going to get that just simply buying a stock. And even if you were to get that simply buying a stock, you're going to wait a long time. All right, guys, we want to be making money today. We don't want to be making money in 50 years' time. The option market gives you that ability. So focusing on the options market, if you guys haven't already, make sure you are getting involved in that. All right. So that being said, I'm going to be keeping a keen eye out for retracements out there in the markets next week. And there are a couple of names I want to speak to you guys that are prime candidates to take advantage of retracements if they happen. But here's the thing, guys. What I'm not doing is I'm not front running. I'm not preemptively trading. So that means that I'm not entering into put options here. Okay. Hopefully you guys understand that. Because I don't want you guys to think that this is a prediction that the markets are going to pull back. No. That is what someone, who's more of an amateur would do. They start getting into put options at this level. That doesn't make any sense. What you want to do, right? If you want to generate the types of returns that myself and the members over the Patreon generate, you have to act after the market has reacted, not before. So we don't want to front run the move. And this is what I tell the guys when I do one-to-one sessions with them. We don't want to front run the move. We want to wait for the market to move, and then we want to counter that move. We want to react afterwards, right? That's how we do it. So anyway, what are some candidates for to take advantage of retracements if we see them? I'm going to show you that now. So the first name, guys, is going to be Meta. Now, Meta is a name that I've spoken to you guys about a lot in recent times. As a matter of fact, when this was about 550, I was telling you guys, look, this thing is going above 600, no problem. And here we are at around this $623 level, so flying high. But now it's at this level, guys. It opens the opportunity for a potential retracement, right? That doesn't mean that I'm expecting a retracement tomorrow. No, it means that when the retracement happens, I'm ready to potentially take advantage of that move. So retracements down towards that 610 level, that 600 level would be where I would be getting interested in potentially taking a trade. Now, here's the thing. I want you guys to have that real-time information, because what may happen is something may happen in the markets, okay, that may mean that you may need it to go a little bit lower than that level I've just mentioned to you. Now, I'm able to give the Patreon members that real-time information just in case anything happens, because from now till then, something could happen. There could be some company update or something like that. So to make sure that you guys have that real-time information, make sure you are hopping into the Patreon, okay? So this is one that I will be taking a close watch at if we get that retracement back towards that 605, that 600 level, in and around that range, okay? All these are going to be very strong call option candidates, okay? But again, make sure you guys have that real-time information from me, because things happen, okay? Things happen in the markets. What I'm telling you guys stands now, but certain things could happen, could even happen overnight, right? So Meta Platforms is a very good retracement candidate. The next one, guys, one I never really speak about, but that is Apple. Now, these names I'm speaking to you guys about have been some of the strongest performers. All right, these are going to be some of the best call option opportunities out there in the market. No doubt about that. But again, you've got to get that real-time information from myself. Anyway, Apple, a retracement down to around that 220 level. Again, I'll be watching very closely. That doesn't mean I'm going to automatically jump in at 220, because there are going to be some other checks that need to take place. But that's going to be the first point of call to be like, okay, this now looks very interesting. Apple's doing phenomenally well right now. Why that is the case, they're basically just riding the tide of this AI movement that is taking place. We know we've got that Apple Intelligence built into their devices. They've got a couple of new projects that have been rolling out. So again, this is one that's going to be more on a technical side of things rather than a fundamental side of things. But again, Apple retracement is one that I'll be watching out for very closely. And the other name I've got for you guys going into next week is Tesla, right? So Tesla's one that we took advantage of over the Patreon. Guys did very, very well. As a matter of fact, we traded TSLL, not Tesla, because TSLL gives us 2 times as much return in the options market as Tesla would. So that's how my guys were able to go ahead and make 70, 80%, 90% on this, as opposed to 30, 40, 50%. Okay, so TSLL is one that we take advantage of often over the Patreon, but Tesla pull back towards 360-ish. This one gets interesting. Okay, Tesla's got some decent upside from here. As a matter of fact, Tesla's got decent upside all the way probably up until their next earnings, which is a fair bit of time away before, you know, the market scrutinizes the business for a different reason. But the market right now is loving the fact that there's potential relaxations in some of the regulatory matters that overhang over Tesla, right? So what it does is it kind of clears the pathway for this one to have a much easier ride from a business perspective. regardless, the market is loving that one, and you can take advantage of that move if you haven't done so already. Okay, so you've definitely missed the move that we capitalized on last week, myself and the members. Listen, making like 70, 80, 90% on this one on our TSLL calls, but there is going to be another opportunity. All right, so again, another one I'm watching out for a potential pullback. Now, again, this doesn't mean that Sankey says we will see a pullback tomorrow. No, it says I'm looking out for a pullback, because a pullback is just one of the strategies that I like to capitalize on. And given where the market is now, we could very easily see a pullback next week. And if we were to do so, there are levels where you can get into, take advantage of the call options and ride them up. And those call options would print 70, 80, 90% very, very easily, guys. Right. So these are a couple of names that you should be watching out for next week if you aren't doing so already. And what this will do is will help give you guys some structure as you go into next week, right? Taking advantage of the market is all about structure. And this is what I say to my guys when I do the one-to-ones, helping them build that structured approach to the market. A lot of them kind of go into the market with a very scattered approach in terms of what instruments they're selecting, the strategies they're running, their entry models, the way they exit. And what I do is help build that structured approach, right? If you have that structured approach and you deploy repetition on top of that, you do exceptionally well. All right, so guys, that's the video for today. Make sure you have these on your watch list going into next week. These are phenomenal candidates that have the opportunity to pay out big, and I want all of you guys to succeed. All right, so I'll catch you guys next time.